And so all of the practices truly that we're actually going through in just a little bit are things that are moving meditations. They're things for me that, when I first started trying to learn how to meditate and really do some self work and get into the subconscious mind and all of these things, there's a lot of different ways you can do that, right? And there's definitely no right or wrong answer to that. But what I found in my experience is that for me to sit down and meditate what I thought was meditation, which was, sitting with either a mantra or trying to direct my thoughts or trying to just clear my thoughts, I was exponentially more, successful in that if I had actually done some of these active things first. So if you think about it, when your brain first wakes up in the morning, you're kind of going into this autopilot space. If you don't have a morning practice, that's perfectly fine. But if you do have one, what starts to happen is you start to take those reins back. Right. And so it's one step in taking your own power back. And your morning practice or your daily practices, your rituals, whatever they may be, can be whatever works for you. This is going to be a sampling of things that are really, really potent, that have worked incredibly well for me, that have totally changed my life. But the thing is, when you wake up in the morning, when you go directly to the phone or directly to the inbox or to the kids maybe, or the pets or the partner or whatever it is in your life that you do on the daily basis, your brain, your waking conscious brain, doesn't ever take the time to understand or to consider what it is that you want for the day. It doesn't ever take the time to consider, well, what am I going to do today? What am I actually, setting an intention for in this day? How is this going to run? A lot of times we just kind of deal with the cards that have been dealt to us, right? And particularly as women, let me just go there. Many times we wear so many different hats. We're traditionally the caretakers. We take care of people on the physical planet. We take care of people on the emotional plane and everything in between. And so we hold a lot of space for others, but when do we hold space for ourselves? So here's the thing. I'm going to be really transparent with you guys. I've studied a lot of different modalities. I teach a lot of different modalities, and they're all really wonderful and potent and effective in their own right. And I also have been at a point in my life where I went to the place where I was really like edging on a 2-hour daily practice to really get everything done and to do all the things, to use all my tools. And the reality is no one has time for that. No one has time for that. Even during a week-to-week basis prior to quarantine changing our lives, I was running all over the city teaching classes all the time. And I was burning out for the past couple of months. Quite frankly, I've been feeling myself slowly burning out and hearing this little voice in the back of my mind that says, you need to do something different. Something needs to shift. Something's got to give. This doesn't make sense. And the thing is, when I would even start to try to process that, I definitely didn't want to let go of any of my in-person classes because I love teaching Kundalini. I love teaching tapping. I love teaching psychic and hypno and all of these different things because they're so freaking powerful. And there's something about it that, you guys, if you've never worked with each of these modalities, it's something where I have people almost every day that would come up and say, this has changed my life, or, oh my God, I just had this, revelation of this thing that I've been trying to process for my entire life. And there's a lot of power in these practices. So I really do practice what I preach, but this new method that's really been born through this time of quarantine it was so obvious that it was right under my nose the entire time. And it's a method that is essentially like a really curated collection of all of my practices going into one really boiled down, potent practice, if that makes sense. I have lost my chat box, so I'm just going to check in to see if you guys have any questions or anything like that. Am I talking too fast? Because when I tend to get excited, I tend to get like up here. So here's the thing about the practices. These are all going to be a collection of things that are designed to help you to align with a certain frequency. Because again, going back to that old model, if you're not choosing your own thermostat for the day, if you are not intentionally setting your own temperature, your own energetic thermostat for the day, you're going to get your ass handed to you. And you're going to burn out. You're going to do all the things for everyone else, and you're not going to ever fill your own cup. And so this is a way of doing that that is really truly a balance of masculine and feminine energy. Because to me, when I just sit in meditation, it's a very feminine energy. It's an energy of receiving, and it's a beautiful time and a beautiful space. But I will tell you this, I get so much more. I receive so much more when my brain has been through the masculine energy, the discipline and the doing and the pushing past a little bit of breath work or a little bit of tapping, getting myself out of my comfort zone. That's just truly the way that the brain is designed to work. I could also go really deep into the science behind a lot of these modalities, but I'm going to spare you guys the science lesson today. But as many of you know, my day job is working with epigenetics. And so is literally like countless amounts of data that show how good, for lack of a better word, that's my technical word, how good breath work is for your brain, for your immune system, for the physical body. But truly, it takes your brain to another place. If you've never experienced breath work, it's going to meet you in kind of some of your darker areas, and it's going to bring you back to the light. And so the breath work that I'm going to be practicing in these embodiment practices are Kundalini breath work practices, pranayama, as some of you may know them. Sometimes some of them are used in other lineages of yoga, but my background and my training and my love is for Kundalini yoga. So one thing I want to specify with these practices, I'm definitely not reinventing the wheel in the world of Kundalini, because that's a big no-no. So the way that the lessons are taught through Kundalini, they're always taught by the book. In fact, they're literally, most of the time, they should be taught out of a book, because when you start to change the meditations or the way that they're written, it's not okay. So the Kundalini pieces of our practice are pure. They're from the book. Really what works the best for me is to actually shorten them to an amount of time that's acceptable, because many of them are written as like 31-minute meditations. And again, embodiment is about getting what you need out of the practice and then going on with your day. So most of the practices that I'm curating are going to be 30 minutes or either 15 minutes. I'm going to be creating a collection as we go through these, a collection of like really go at your own pace kind of experiences that will allow you to be able to set your frequency for a day, take what you need, and then go on with your day. But I wanted to just share that specifically any of the Kundalini practices or segments of like breath work or anything like that, they're all by the book. I didn't make them up. So, just note that these are technologies that have been used for like centuries, and they are really good. Now, if you're brand new to breath work, I want you to know this, that we're going to be doing small segments. So when you start to feel your brain telling you that it's time to quit and that this is hard and that it's uncomfortable and that maybe like, why are my hands tingling or why does this hurt in my liver? You're going to feel very quickly where your brain has a wall of resistance. And part of the magic of this practice is the practice of pressing through those walls and really you commanding to your subconscious mind that you are stronger than you thought that you were, that you can actually do it. So there's a lot of self-soothing involved in this practice. So when you start to get to that place of intensity where you're like, oh my God, I can't do this anymore, I assure you that you can. I assure you that you're not going to die. I have never in my teaching career seen someone's arm fall off, although when you're in it, there's going to come a moment where you're like, my arm's about to fall off. So here's the thing, just remember when you reach that moment, remember that I am preparing you for that now. And remember that if you keep going for 30 seconds longer than you thought you could, you'll come to a place where it gets very easy. So that's the thing. Your brain wants you to work very safely and very efficiently. So a lot of times it's going to try and talk you out of doing some of these weirdo practices that we're about to do. It's incredibly good for you to do the weirdo practices because it's going to stretch you past your norm. And it's going to really remind yourself that you do have the power within you to do what you set out to do, right? So keeping your word to yourself and going through the practice and knowing that you'll see the other side. Now, we also use a lot of different sensory, mechanisms in this practice. So embodiment, the practices that I've created are very sensory, very sensual. So already, while we're kind of chatting a little bit before we go into the practice, if you have something near you to set the tone, create a space for yourself, create something with fragrance. If you have something yummy to drink, I'm going to segue that into a sip of my matcha. let this be an experience for your senses. So we're going to be feeling into the body. We're going to be really going into a lot of things. But if you have a little smudge or an essential oil or a perfume even, or anything like that, that you can really start to open this space for yourself, go ahead and do it now. I guess, I don't know if you guys can see. These are all things that actually help to enhance your experience by working with your nervous system. So your nervous system is that part of you that says, oh my God, I have to hurry up and do this. I have to hurry up and do that. I have to really do all the things, right? Your nervous system has a lot larger capacity than you will ever know unless you start to really test it. So really creating this moment for yourself, this experience, is really, really important before we start to dive into the body and really communicate with the body. Now, the next part of the practice after the Kundalini intro is going to be the EFT tapping. And raise your hand if you've never done tapping before. Awesome. So I'll tell you a little bit about my history with tapping. When I first started doing it, I thought it was the goofiest thing in the world. I actually signed up to go to like this half-day workshop with someone who's kind of famous in the tapping world that will not be named, and she's wonderful as a person, like wonderful. And obviously, you know, does it very well, but I didn't know anything about tapping. There was a workshop at the yoga studio that I went to, and I signed up for it. I stink at tapping by myself. I'm glad you're here. So I went to this workshop that was like a 4-hour thing. And literally within the first 20 minutes, I was like, oh my God, like how much longer? Like, how can I sneak out of here? It was very uncomfortable. So I want to tell you what I didn't understand back then is that part of how it works, part of the magic behind it is actually getting uncomfortable and really getting a little bit squirmy with your thoughts and your feelings. So remember, we're doing short segments, but it's going to be a little bit squirmy. It feels very uncomfortable to sit and talk to your feelings. All right. It's like, oh my God, are we seriously doing this? We're seriously doing it, you guys, because it seriously works. So I'll tell you this, each part of the embodiment practice truly ignites the following part. And that's why we're doing a little sampler, okay? So you're gonna be able to have a deeper experience with your tapping today after we do a little breath work and move some energy around than you would if you just sit down and go into tapping. So a lot of those resistant thoughts about this is dorky, I hate this, I don't feel like doing this today, I'd rather really go and do my taxes or whatever the thing is, a lot of those resistant thoughts will start to crumble if you just follow the process and let your body go into it. So the tapping, a little bit about tapping. Basically, we're going to be using our fingertips to tap, quite literally, stimulating different meridian points through the body. And meridian points are something, it's a technology, if you will, that's been used for ages in traditional Chinese medicine. So think like acupuncture, things like that. They've really been the ones who discovered these basically freeways of energy and emotions that live in the body. So it's just, if you ever had acupuncture, you might get a needle in your foot that really helps to support your liver or something that's totally not locally related. It's the same concept, except instead of using needles, we're going to be using our fingertips. There's truly not a wrong way to do it, you guys. So just do it and let yourself see what happens. Let yourself get a little bit dorky and uncomfortable as part of the process. It's going to be really, really good for your brain. So again, working with the nervous system, your nervous system freaking loves tapping, and that's why it's so effective. So give it a chance and really go into the depth of it. And then the very last part, we're going to go into a guided meditation, which is kind of in the style of hypnosis. And so if you've never done hypnosis before, it's definitely not like anything you've seen on TV. It's not like I'm going to have you guys clucking like a chicken or doing anything beyond your imagination or control. The thing about hypnosis is it's just a funny word that's given to represent a really deep state of meditation. So there are some really very easy hacks that you can do that will get yourself into a really deep state of the brain. And that's where you can actually see things and experience things in a different way than your conscious mind. So really going into this kind of mini hypnosis is simply just to help you to release anything that's been stored and to help you get even more clarity than perhaps you have gotten in a very long time. Does this all make sense? Do you guys have any questions about any of the components of this practice? Awesome. So let's get started, shall we? The only thing that you're going to need for your practice today is a little bit of wingspan. So we're going to stretch the arms out in both directions. So if you can come sitting comfortably, you can sit on the floor, you can sit on the sofa, you can sit on your bed, wherever you feel so called. Just make sure it's possible that I am in the tightest space ever from what I can see from those of you who have your cameras on. As long as I don't knock over any of my husband's recording equipment, we're golden. Now, if you're new to Kundalini, part of that sensory experience is we're going to start with a tune in. And we tune in with the mantra Ong Namo Gurudev Namo. So I'm going to type it in the chat so you can see the words. And part of the tuning in is truly a connection. It's a connection with yourself. It's also traditionally believed to be a connection with any guides, or, you can connect to God, you can connect to the universe, you can connect to your grandmother, whatever speaks to you. You do you, or you can just connect with your body. If you just want to turn it internally, that's perfectly fine. So when we start to actually use the power of our own voice, what starts to happen is we reclaim some of that power that's in our voice. We can reconnect with the feeling of using our own voice. So we can use that voice to actually clear the space around us. And we can also connect internally. So if you're doing it right, and sometimes it takes a little practice, but when you really hit it just right, you're going to feel a little vibration from the pit of your belly all the way up through the sinus cavity. Okay. So we're going to do a little rumbly tune in here, and then we're going to go right into a really clearing practice. The meditation that I've chosen for us today is one of my favorites. It's challenging and in the best possible way, but it's actually intended to clear your entire electromagnetic field, your aura. It clears it out. So there's a chance here today. You have an opportunity today to take 3 minutes of your life and breathe through this, work through this, and clear out anything that may be lingering there. And let me just tell you, we all have a lot of stuff lingering right now. Whether we realize it or not, we have all been going through it. So I'm very excited to share this practice with you today. So go ahead and start to get comfortable in your body. We'll bring the hands together, warming up our little antennas here. And we'll bring those hands into a low prayer, so tucking the thumbs into the sternum. You can close the eyes and really start to drop the breath down into the belly. Starting to notice and feel the space that's around your body, feeling the air touching your skin. Tuning into your belly as you expand and let it fill all the way up like a giant balloon on the inhale. And exhaling, releasing everything, every little bit of tension, starting to soften right now. Noticing anywhere in the body that might feel tight or stuck or uncomfortable. Asking yourself here, what do you need to release today? Whether it's something specific or just a feeling. Allowing that thing, whatever it may be, to just bubble up to you. Maybe you're releasing fatigue, or maybe you're releasing fear. Maybe you're releasing the weight of someone else's opinion. Maybe you're releasing some self-judgment for how you've been handling things the past few weeks, what you've been doing or not doing. Whatever comes to mind is just absolutely perfect. And once you have that thing in mind, just noticing if you feel where it might have been living in your body. Taking one more deep breath right into that spot right now. And we'll inhale to begin. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Two more times, just like that. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Inhale deep, hold it at the top. And exhale. Letting your breath return to normal, blinking the eyes open. And coming back into your space, noticing if you feel a shift already. We're going to start this exercise going in with the arms. We're going to make a little bit of a claw shape with the hand. So it's almost like as if you were catching a baseball. It also reminds me of like Lady Gaga, Little Monsters, if you were into that back in the day. So all we're going to do here is take that shape with the hands, flip it palms up, and then outstretch the arms in both directions, coming out straight. This is going to be our inhale position. Now we're going to exhale and crisscross the arms right in front of the forehead, and then inhale back open. There you go. You got it. So it's a heavy, 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 heavy breath in and out through the nose. You can go at your own pace here. The breath is going to become almost like a breath of fire. If you are on the first 2 days of your cycle, or if you're pregnant, you can definitely slow it down because you don't want to pump the navel too heavily. The other thing I want you to remember is keeping a little tension in the hands. Let the tension go from everywhere else in the body. So keep the body just very relaxed. Try not to tense up through your shoulders or even through your legs or core. Literally just focusing on the breath. And we are on the clock right now. So you can close your eyes and just go into this. Good. Starting to find your own rhythm here. Really connecting with the depth of the breath and starting to notice any energy around you, anything that may have come up for you that you're ready to release. I want you to clear the clouds right now. Clear it out as hard as you can, breathing as hard as you can through it. Remembering when you start to feel that mental resistance, when you start to feel the body getting tired, when you start to feel the breath getting exhausted, letting go of it right here, deciding right now that you're going to let go of anything heavy that you've been carrying around with you every single day, letting it go right now. We're halfway done. Keep breathing. Adjust your pace if you need to, but do not stop. Assuring yourself right here that you can keep going. You've got this. Breathing away any thoughts that tell you that you want to quit, or this is weird, or this is stupid. Breathing harder through them. Finding the space on the other side where it gets easier. We have under a minute to go. You can do anything that you want to do, anything that you set your mind to, you can do it right now for less than 1 minute. Breathe harder. Just a few more times to go here. You're in the home stretch. Now stick out the tongue and keep breathing. Keep moving the arms. 5 more seconds. Go, go, go. Hard, hard, hard. Good. Now inhale as deeply as you can. Close the mouth. Hold the hands up. Tight, tight, tight through the fingertips. Squeezing the root log like you have to go to the bathroom so bad. Hold it tight here. Exhale, let it go. Good. 2 more times just like that. Deepest inhale, filling all the way up, stretching up the spine, sitting up tall. Hold it and squeeze every muscle in your body right now as tight as you possibly can. Exhale. Good. Once more. Holding it tight through the hands, squeezing every muscle as tight as you possibly can. Exhale, let it go. Good job. Taking a moment here to let the breath return to normal. Taking any little wiggles or movements, rolling the neck. Coming back down into your body and noticing where you feel a shift. Whoa, right? Good work, guys. Noticing where you feel lighter. Noticing how the air touches your skin in a different way. Taking a moment here, hand to the heart, hand to the belly, and just feeling your heart beating. Taking a few breaths of gratitude for this experience, what you just let go of. Taking a moment of gratitude for breaking through the resistance that you just did. And asking yourself here, is there anything else that you're ready to release today? Any fear, any sadness, any stagnation, anything that's keeping you small? Going right into our tapping, starting to tap on the very top of the head. Keeping the eyes closed as we go through this, tuning in with your own thoughts and noticing which of the statements today might be more difficult for you, which ones might be easier than expected, just getting very curious about the whole process and feeling how it moves through the body. So you'll start to repeat after me, saying it out loud, listening to the power of your own voice. And I'll walk you through when to move your hands. Taking one more deep round of breath here. Exhale, sigh it out. Good. I'm so tired of this situation. Repeating after me. I'm not sure how much more of this I can take. It feels like it's draining the life out of me. And I just want to feel normal again. But I'm not even sure what normal is anymore. I'm not sure if things will ever be the same. And part of me feels really sad about the parts of life that I don't have right now. Taking a breath there And just leaning into any feelings that you may have, moving the hands right in between the brow. Taking a moment to just let any sadness bubble up. Allowing yourself to just feel the sadness or any other emotions that might be right for you today. Anything at all that you've been processing, letting it really surface right here. And then moving to the outside of the brow. I feel sad about, and name it here, fill in the blank with whatever answer comes to mind for you. Making a little list here of anything that comes to mind. Moving underneath the eye. And I really miss, naming it here, what do you miss? Is it a person, a place, or a thing? Maybe it's something simple, or maybe it feels silly to say it, but just saying it here, letting yourself really hold space for all of these emotions. And underneath the nose, I'm really scared about just letting it out here and noticing the shift that you feel in your body. Taking a big, giant, deep breath in here. Good. Moving on to the chin, right under the bottom lip. It's understandable this feels really difficult. I've never done this before, and I'm doing the best that I can. But it feels like the best I can is not good enough. Moving on to the collarbone. I'm really confused about what I should be doing. And I've been judging myself about how I've been coping. Good, moving on to the sternum now. Letting your heart open as you go into any of that judgment that's been coming up for you. I've been coping by naming it here. Whatever the thing is, just allowing yourself to really acknowledge here that anything that you may have been beating yourself up about lately, you're just trying to get through this. You're just coping. So it's understandable that I've been doing this. My brain is just doing what it knows best. But I know that I have other options for dealing with this stress and sadness. Good, moving right underneath the arms, a couple inches below your armpit. I know that I can take care of myself. I know that I'm capable of getting through this. And I just want to feel better. Good, moving under the bottom rib. I know that I can get through this without neglecting myself or letting myself spiral. I know that I am strong, even if I don't always feel it. Good, back to the top of the head. There's a part of me that's strong. There's a part of me that's capable. And there's a part of me that knows exactly what I need to do to help myself feel better, even when so many things feel out of control. Good, moving back to the front of the brow and asking yourself here, what do you need right now? Just listening to your own answer. What does your mind need today? What does your body need today? What is it that would feel really good for you to do? Listening to your own answers, making a little list here of anything, whether it's small or large. And then taking a giant breath in here. Noticing where you feel a difference. Moving to the outside of the brow. I know that I can handle this stress by naming whatever came to mind. Whether it's productive or silly or whatever it is. I know that I can handle this sadness by I know that I can handle this fear by so these emotions don't need my attention anymore. It's safe for me to relax now. Good. Taking a giant breath in, connecting with that feeling of security. Moving underneath the eye. I'm capable of getting through this. I'm capable of choosing differently how I take care of myself. I'm capable of changing the channel in my mind whenever this feels overwhelming. And I'm capable of choosing where to send my energy. Good. Moving underneath the nose. I choose to believe this won't last forever. I choose to believe that I am strong. I choose to believe that I will get through this. Moving on to the chin. And maybe it's even possible that things will come out better. I choose to be open to possibility. I choose to be open to opportunity. I choose to be open to miracles. And it's safe to allow them right now. Good. Breathing into that, moving on to the collarbone. Feeling the difference when you start to focus your energy in that direction. And starting to take a moment here just to tune into any good things that have come into your life in the past 6 weeks. Maybe it feels like rest, or maybe it's some creativity, a shift in perspective. Maybe it just feels like an abundance of gratitude. Or maybe it's a new connection with a friend or a family member. Anything at all, just bringing to mind anything that comes up that you're grateful for, and really letting your body feel that gratitude, focusing on each one for just a moment. Good. Taking another big, deep gulp in of gratitude here, filling up with it. Moving on to the sternum. It's safe to focus on gratitude now. It's safe for me to relax now. It's okay for me to feel sadness. It's okay for me to feel anxiety. It's okay for me to feel fear. It's okay for me to feel grief. I don't have to get stuck there. These are just emotions. They do not control me. They do not define me. It's okay to acknowledge these feelings. And it's okay to allow them to pass. Good. Sending another big clearing breath right into your heart right now. Good. Moving underneath the arms. It's safe for me to allow some fun. It's safe for me to trust that things are working out. And it's safe for me to release anything beyond my control. Good. Moving underneath the ribs. And deciding now what you're going to focus on instead. What's the emotion that you need to focus on and cultivate today? Peace comes to me easily now. Call it in. Feeling each one as you call it out. Calm comes to me easily now. Resilience comes to me easily now. Flexibility comes to me easily now. Faith comes to me easily now. Abundance comes to me easily now. Wellness comes to me easily now. What else? Fill in your own blank here. What else comes to you easily now? Claim it. Say it out loud. And feel it in your body as you claim it. Calling it out here. It's safe for me to accept all these good things. I'm ready to receive it right now. Good. Relaxing the hands, taking one more big, deep inhale. Keeping the eyes closed and just settling into your seat. If you'd like to recline, you can. Making yourself comfortable going into your meditation. And just feeling anything in the body that feels different than it did before. Feeling the space that you've just created to receive. Feeling the lightness that you've just created in and around your body. And going back to those deep, deep belly breaths. Filling up with just as much air as you can possibly hold. Holding it at the top for just a half second. And then exhaling heavy, letting everything go. Continuing those deep belly breaths as you start to roll the eyes back into the head. Just as if you could look through the back of your head, focusing the eyes there now, sending out a big dose of alpha brain waves through the body. Holding the eyes rolled back, feeling a little fluttering in the eyes for just another round of breath. And then when you get to the bottom of your next exhale, go ahead and release the eyes, letting them go completely. Letting your body sink even heavier into your seat. Taking your mind to a place where you're imagining that you're standing tall in the bright sunshine, just as if you were a little palm tree. Feeling the sun hitting the top of your head through the branches of this beautiful palm tree, feeling that warmth on you. Relaxing through the top of your scalp. Smoothing out the forehead. And releasing every single little nerve, every single muscle that's in and around your eyes, letting it go completely. softening the jaw and relaxing the tongue down. And feeling that warm sunshine just beaming down on you, melting away any tension that's remaining through the body, softening through the shoulders and down the arms, relaxing the belly and the hips. And just as if you were that beautiful palm tree, relaxing all the way down to the ground. And then starting to trace your intention down the roots, down into the earth. Noticing the number of roots that are grounded beneath you. And just tracing them down as far as you possibly can. And just as if you could travel down into those roots, feeling the dark, cold earth around you. See if you can keep going. Letting go of any residual resistance as you make your way all the way down towards the core of the earth. Building in strength as you go along. And now wrapping those roots all the way around the very core of the earth, feeling its warmth burning up, melding together all of those roots. Taking your time here. Letting that hot, burning core just burn away anything that you don't need, any thoughts of being small or fragile. Letting them go, disappearing into the lava. And once you've tangled all of those roots all the way around the core, as many times as you could possibly imagine, feeling so tight, so supported, go ahead and start to trace your way back up those roots, up through the cold, dark earth around you. Noticing just how far you have to travel until you reach the very surface of the earth. Feeling yourself sprouting through the surface now. Coming back up as the strongest version of you that you've ever imagined. Taking your time here to let this version of you start to surface. And allowing your mind to show you how much strength you have. Feeling the power coming into you right now. And growing just as tall and mighty as you may need. And bringing this energy up from the center of the earth right inside you right now. Getting a picture in your mind of this new version of you. Just as if you were watching a movie in your mind, seeing this new version of you, this fully embodied version that's capable of doing anything that your heart desires. Letting the picture become crystal clear. Noticing here anything that feels different, anything that looks different. And seeing that energy of strength and resilience right across your face, feeling it in your body. And asking this strongest version of yourself here, what is it that you need today? Letting her guide you. Receiving any last messages that might be available for you. And sending so much gratitude for this newfound strength and resilience. Sending so much gratitude for any inspiration that you may have just received or direction. And knowing that you can reconnect with this version of you anytime that you may need to, because she loves you so much, because she already is you and she lives within you. So taking this energy as you start to bring your attention back into your body, dropping down into those big, deep belly breaths once more. Noticing how the energy around you may feel different, renewed. Bringing back some small movements to the body, wiggling the fingertips, wiggling the toes. And taking a giant big stretch up overhead with your next inhale. Letting yourself feel taller, stronger. And taking your time here, choosing how you want to spend the next few minutes after this. What would feel really good to you today? Maybe it feels really good to move your body. Maybe it feels really good to stay in your thoughts a few minutes more and do a little journaling or visioning or whatever might feel right. Maybe it feels good to eat something really grounding and delicious and nourishing. Just getting curious with yourself. Thank you guys so much for being here with me today. This was so special to have you, and truly just a dream come true to see this come to life. I want to share a couple of things with you. I'm working out some details, but I'm going to start live streaming regularly, so I would love to have you. Normally, the intention is for the classes to be like roughly 30 minutes. Some of them will be a little bit less. And some of them will be a little bit longer. But as this continues to take shape, I would love some feedback from you guys. If you had a great experience today, then send me a note. Let me know what you experienced. Or if you didn't have a great experience, I want to hear that too. But anything that may have really spoken to you today, I'd love to hear it. If you really loved it, then I would love for you to join me for more classes. So I'm working with a new platform next week, and I'm planning to do a launch week. So I'm going to do a daily live stream, and after that, I'll switch to a once a week class, and we'll really see how it develops. Very few details are set in stone, but I appreciate you all so much. I'm sending you so much love. If this is something that you guys are more curious to go into on a deeper level, I'm going to be opening the embodiment program at some point soon. The launch date is planned at May 22nd. And I would love to chat with you if that's something that you have interest in going through on a deeper level. But if not, yeah, I'd love to have you guys back for some classes, and tell a friend if you loved it. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful weekend. I hope you guys feel so strong in your bodies. I am absolutely encouraging you with my whole heart to end this practice with a personal dance party. So that is my suggestion to you, is to get into your body and move your body. We'll be doing these a little bit more when I'm not in this tiny space, because I will absolutely break something. And I will say that's probably the edge of my comfort zone, because I'm a terrible, terrible dancer, but I do it every day. And I encourage you to do the same. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you. It was an honor to share this space with you and feel your energy. Yay. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend, guys. See you soon.